wanted a curry tonight. It's very much open the fridge, see what I've got. It's going to be vegetarian. I'll run through the ingredients. This is the last of the pumpkin, so this is pumpkin recipe number 4. It's going to be a pumpkin, potato and egg curry. So the pumpkin I've roasted in little cubes, and that's had some chilli on and some cumin and coriander and vegetable oil. I have cooked some potatoes. These are the potatoes that we've grown, but you can use new potatoes. I cooked them for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're soft, and I've halved them. I've got some frozen peas that will be going in. I've got some chopped red onion, some garlic and ginger. I'm going to do, it's all about cheating tonight. I'm using a tandoori marinade paste. It's mild, so I will also be adding some chili flakes. I've got a tin of tomatoes, yogurt, and I've got eggs. So in fact, you'll start the recipe by roasting your pumpkin, cooking your potatoes, and doing your, oh God, I can't speak today. I can never speak. And cooking your eggs. Oh my God, that was painful getting the word eggs out. Oh shit, I've got to stop. Top tip for hard boiling eggs. For this recipe, these are very large eggs. I've actually boiled these for 10 minutes. For a ramen where I want it a little bit slightly soft yolk, I would usually boil smaller ones for 7 minutes. You want to use eggs that are a bit old. Not too old, obviously, you don't want them to be off. But unlike poached egg, where you want super fresh, for hard-boiled eggs, you want them to be a bit older. It makes them easier to peel. Top tip. I have thought about making my videos short and snappy and suitable for TikTok, but it's just not in my nature because I have just too much to say. So I am cooking this curry, which is going to be potato, pumpkin, egg. I've talked about it, you saw the beginning. So the fat that I'm using is I'm using ghee. I'm not using the ghee in the tin. If you're going to use ghee, use the good stuff. It's not cheap. This is £9 a jar, but you don't need a lot, and it lasts a long time. And I don't use it with everything, but if I'm cooking a curry, it's really special. I was going to say something else. So that's I'm just going to add. So we're adding onions, and I will cook this on a low light, and then I'm just going to turn this off. Do I have something else to say? No, just thought that while my onions are sauteing slowly, so this is happy butter ghee. You only have to smell it to understand what it is. Ghee is basically clarified butter, and the stuff in the tin is nice, but it's cheap, and it's this. I understand why this is £9. Because if you've ever taken a 250 gram piece of butter and clarified it, you get about 180 grams, and it's absolutely beautiful. So the nice thing with clarified butter or ghee is that you can cook it at a high temperature and it's not going to burn because the milk fats aren't in there. Yeah, I keep having thoughts and I forget. After about 5 minutes, it's getting there for softness, I'm adding in the ginger and garlic. My cheat for tonight is that I'm using, which I mentioned before, I'm using a curry paste because this was in the fridge and I want to use it up. I'm putting in 3 tablespoons. You want to just cook that off for a second and coat all of the onions, and then I'm going to use, you can use a can of chopped tomatoes, but I want a bit of texture. I'm just going to take my ring off. I'm going to use, I've got plum tomatoes, which I am going to squish through my hands. I do love doing this. There is something very pleasing about squishing some plum tomatoes. Oh. It means that you get texture with your sauce. That's it. And not wanting to waste any of what was in the can, I've put in literally a splash of water, and I'm going to stir this up, and I'm going to let this bubble and cook probably for about 10 minutes. Because the curry paste that I'm using is mild, I have actually got some whole chilies that I am going to, I've split them. You can see I've split them and I've kept the seeds in, and I'm going to slide those in. A note about chilies, which if you follow me, you'll know, chilies freeze really well. So I keep a supply of chilies in the freezer, usually ones that we've grown, but not, it doesn't have to be ones you've grown. Just if you buy them from the supermarket, put them in the freezer. You can pull them out at any time when you fancy a curry. So another top tip. I've cooked these tomatoes down for about 5 minutes. The next thing I've got is some natural yogurt, whether it's Greek yogurt or natural yogurt. I'm putting in, I don't know, a few tablespoons. Let's just do one more. And I'm going to stir that through. Sauce has been cooking for 5 minutes. I've tasted it, it's gorgeous. So now all of the bits are going in. That's the pumpkin, the potato, everything that the pumpkin cooked in. I'm going to coat it all. I'm going to leave the peas until the last minute. Actually, no, I'm not. Actually, no, yes. Yes, I am. I'm going to leave the peas for the last minute because they'll discolour. And then if there's one thing I hate, it's discoloured peas. I'm going to give this 5 minutes to warm through the potato and the pumpkin. So I'd just like to say about my foodie journey and the indecision that you just heard there, where I was thinking, should I put the peas in? Is that I record these films for the recipes at the time of me making it for the first time. These aren't well-rehearsed recipes. This is me free-forming with what I've got. I know that I don't need to justify it to all of you. And even the people that are mean to me, well, they can F off, really. So I'm going to let this warm up. Then I'm going to put the peas in. Then I'm going to nestle the eggs in. And this will be scrumptious. I'm now adding the peas. You can see in this pan, these are parathas. Peas are just going to go in. I have a thing about discoloured peas. I like my peas to be highly coloured, so we are very close to serving. I'm now going to nestle these lovely hard-boiled eggs. So the eggs were cooked. These were extra large eggs. They were cooked for 10 minutes. This is just for 2. It's lovely. And now I'm going to finish with some, actually I'm going to put my coriander in the middle. The reason I'm putting a pile of coriander in the middle is, as I've said yesterday, I've discovered that my husband of nearly 30 years doesn't actually like coriander. So if I scatter it, he can't avoid it. If I put it in the middle, he can avoid it. And here we have my potato, pumpkin and egg curry. And now it's serving ourselves. So these bowls we brought back from Goa. This is vegetarian, super healthy, perfect on an autumn night. It's cold, not cold outside. It feels cold, and we're having it with paratha. Amen to that.